And Charlie Wellington scored! Goodness me! In the 5th minute of additional time and put Leyton Orient in front. And Leyton Orient have come from behind and surely have picked up 3 precious points.
Welcome to Orient Live. It's a massive game here in E10 today as Barnsley are at the BetRite Stadium and Orient are looking to record their first back-to-back wins of the season. I'm Ollie Buck and I'm here with Glenn Wilkie and Brendan Pitcher. When you put it like that, Glenn. Haven't won back.
You said that. You finished last week with we haven't won back-to-back.
And we haven't.
Stop putting that fear into everyone.
Well, then we need to do it today, don't we?
No, we do. I think we will. I was confident last week about winning the game, and for once I predicted a win. I think again today, I think it's a very open game of football. Better surface today, which will suit us because we like to get the ball down and play. I just think it's going to be a really exciting game. I don't think. Well, I'm hoping we don't have last 20 minutes like we did last week with you pacing around the studio, nervous.
I'll be pacing around the stand instead. A harder game than last Saturday. Obviously, it was good to get that win, and it had been a long time coming, and we've got to bring that into today now.
Harder in terms of the league table and where Barnsley and Northampton are in the league, in those terms. But I think it's a game that might suit us a little bit more. Obviously, being at home helps. Well, our home form has been a lot stronger this season than our away form, but also the opposition, the way they play. I think Barnsley are a very open side, concede a lot of goals, score a lot of goals, and I think generally under Richie Wellens we tend to perform in those games a bit better, and if we can just show a bit of control, hopefully it could be a game that suits us more than against Northampton, where they're going to be direct and physical, and we'll have to play a different kind of football. And
we've beat some big teams here in E10. We seem to enjoy playing in front of a home crowd.
No, definitely. Obviously, when you play in front of your own crowd, we do better generally. Obviously, with our away form this year, it's not been great. But I think, like Brendan says, I think when you've got a team who have come to you, there's not. Can they get relegated? Can they make the playoffs? Still not really. They've got not much really to play for. So they'll get the ball down and they'll come at us. What we struggle with is when teams like Paul Val, teams like that come, sort of put 11 players behind the ball, and we have to try and break them down. Today that won't be the case. That's what I think. They'll be open, they'll come at us, and it will suit us because we are very good on the break, and with the front three we've got pace there as well, and we know where the net is, so it'll open up. I think we'll get a good few chances today in front of goal.
And a win today, of course, probably too bad or too early to be looking at the league table and points totals, but 3 points would put us 2 points behind Barnsley and kind of lift us up, and that catching up with that bottom section would be really useful.
Yeah, especially because of you look at the next two fixtures and they're 2 tricky away games, so you don't want to be going into them chasing points. So yeah, I think today is massive. I think we did our job well last weekend against Northampton, did what we had to do, got the result. Wasn't the prettiest game at times, but kind of showed a bit of resolve and a bit of grit. Today, like I said, be a different test in terms of show a bit more of the nice passing football, play on the break, how we know we can play, and how I'm sure Richie wants his Orient team to play. But you need to follow it up again with 3 points, because you need to start creating that buffer between us and the relegation zone.
I'm sure Richie will be very keen to pick up all 3 points. So let's hear his pre-match thoughts right now.
Gaffer, massive game against Barnsley this weekend. What are your thoughts heading into the game?
Tough game. I think a good side, talented, clear fundamentals of playing, but with the varieties that they can play, they've got a lot of options, a lot of different ways they can press, a lot of different ways they can play. Threats on the outside. McGoldrick, even at his age, tremendous. Always been a tremendous footballer in terms of talent. So yeah, they've got a lot of weapons. I think they're obviously a good club. So it'll be a difficult game.
It's a side that's struggled to pick up a consistent run of form this season. Is that something that you think about heading into the game?
We're aware of their away form, but again, it doesn't matter if you're at home and away. Funny enough, we've been really good at home, and then when we start to just not be as good at home, we've actually picked up 4 points from our last 2 away games. So I think the setup in the way that they play to be more effective at home at this current where they're at. Obviously, losing Keeler Dunn is a big blow for them. but they've got talented players, and on any given day, if we're not at it, then they can be a threat.
How much of a problem can Reyes Cleary make? He's played really well this season.
It's talented football. He can go inside and go outside. 1v1 speciality, and if you're not sharp and dynamic and your approach is willy-nilly and it's slow and he gets it and he can turn, then he can threat. So we need to make sure that our fullbacks, they're in, but they're ready to go out and meet the ball in his first touch or be an aerial duel. If we don't shift across the pitch enough, then it can be a threat for us.
Right then, let's take a look and see how the O's are shaping up. It's unchanged from last Saturday, but if you can't remember what that lineup was, then here it is for you now. In goal is Will Dennis. It's the back three today of Dan Happy and Caelan Casey playing either side of the skipper, Will Forrester. Dylan Levitt and Sean Clare are in the midfield with Michael Craig and Morris in the wing-back positions. Ollie O'Neill and Faber Fawunmi play just behind Dom Ballard, and Killian Carhill, Tom James, Josh Koroma, Sonny Perkins, Azim Abdullahi, Charlie Wellens and Theo Archibald are on the bench. No real surprise that he's kept it the same, Glenn?
No, I don't. Whether he's rewarded the same team as, or for getting the win last week, he's rewarded them with no changes, possibly. I expect it, even as I like it. I like the way we set up last week in the first half, and we sort of caused Northampton problems on the break. I think that was good. Second half, yes, we was up against it. As we know, a lot of long balls into the box, and we dug deep, as Brendan said, and held on. But I think with that front three, with Ollie O'Neill, Faver and Ballard, I think we've got a lot of pace, a good quality there. I think we will cause them problems today. And you was going to mention their defence, wasn't you? They've got the worst defence in the league. They've conceded one less goal than us, but they've played less games. So on the games goals against, they've got the worst defence in the league. So coupled that in with our front three, I think we'll get goals today.
Yeah, I think it's a team. I might have gone with a back four today if you're thinking about changing the way we want to play, but I think because of probably the lack of options we have at the minute in central midfield, probably being forced to play a back three, and you want to reward a winning team. I think it's only the one minor change, which is Jack Simpson, I think is injured, and Dan Happy's come in, but that's how we finished the game against Northampton. And Dan Happy, when he came on against Northampton, I thought he was really good. So yeah, I think you want to kind of keep the team settled. I think it's one of those games today where I think if we just show a bit of control and defend well and do what we have to do, then I think, like Glenn said, if we can just hit them on the break, that we should have more than enough for them. I think we're playing them at a really good time. I think supporters are getting a bit restless. They're in a bad run of form. I think they had a really good start to the season, but since then they've really tailed off, and they've lost Davis Keeler-Dunn in January, who's their key player. So I think today is about us, and if we can just show that bit of control and win the duels and defend well, then hopefully it's all there for us today.
You've touched on the front three, Glenn, but let's kind of focus on it, because Faber Fawunmi's come in and really added a bit of a spark in there, maybe something we've been missing since Aaron Connolly went out injured. But Don Ballard's getting a goal again. Ollie O'Neill is in and amongst the assists all the time. That's some front three.
Yeah, very good. I thought Faver last week, he was unfortunate. He had a couple of good chances in that first half, but he's really quick. He's got low centre of gravity because he's quite small. Very good. He don't mind going on his right foot or his left foot. I really liked him last week. I was just a shame he couldn't get that goal. Obviously, he had the shot in the first minute, was it? Which their keeper saved. He looks really sharp. Ollie O'Neill, we know what he's like. He got a goal a couple of weeks ago because he had a bit of a poor run of form in front of goal, like previous games where he had a few chances he would be really disappointed that he didn't score with. And then Ballard back in the goals. That front three, if they're firing today, which I think they will be, will cause any defence in this league problems.
You were a big fan of Sean Clare's performance last week, Brendan.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent in there, and I thought it was a game where the Orient players needed to be stood up and be counted, and I think he did more than did that. I think in the heart of midfield, it was a game that suited him in terms of won all of his duels in there. He made some brilliant tackles, kept it simple passing wise, and I think today it's one where maybe, like I said, could we have played him at fullback up against Reyes Cleary, who has Barnsley's his best player, but I think it's a show of faith from Richie that he's kept him in midfield there, and I think it's today another one where him and Levitt can kind of complement each other quite well. I think Claire does all the hard work, brilliant tackler, brilliant winner of the ball, wins his duels, strong, and then he can kind of just let Levitt do the ball work and pass the ball around the pitch. I think what we're seeing here, the clips wise, is what Sean Clare's all about in terms of winning tackles. He's got such long legs that he feels like he can hook a ball and win a slide tackle really well. And I think those moments there when he gets down into these positions where he gets the ball, if he can just improve his end product, he's a top player.
Can I ask you one thing on that? Can you educate me? What's the difference between a tackle and a duel?
A duel is, I think, a duel can be going up and winning headers, and it can.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I just want to know.
It encompasses everything in terms of winning the ball, whether that would be mustering someone off the ball, or winning a header, or winning a tackle or a slide tackle. It encompasses everything rather than just a tackle.
Okay, thank you.
And Sean Clare is our dual master then.
He's a great tackler.
But that's what we need from him in the middle of the park today.
Definitely, we said it last week. He had that bit of steel in there, and I thought he started really well last week. And because we were up against it, the way they played, and we need him in there. He's got that bit of experience. You look at the side. There's not too many players in that team with lots of experience. Sean Clare's got it. Him in the middle, I just think he gives us that bit of steel. And last week it worked perfectly. Let's hope he continues and does the same today.
Right, let's hear now then from Sean Clare as he gives us his thoughts ahead of today's fixture.
Well, Sean, it was a massive win against Northampton on the weekend. How did you feel about the result?
Yeah, I think we deserved it. We defended our box really well, and we took our chances when we got them. I think on another day we could have had some more goals, but yeah, it was a hard-fought win, but I felt like we deserved it.
Did you enjoy playing in that game where there were so many clearances?
Enjoy is a strong word. I enjoyed the 3 points. That's the main thing. But yeah, I think the team defended really well as a group. It wasn't just individuals, and I think that's what we need at the moment.
And there's a lot of pressure, especially towards the last 10 minutes when the balls are coming in, loads of crosses, and the team are together. That's exactly what you want, especially in the position we're in.
100%. I think it's key to be calm in those moments, to remember our formation, to remember what we need to do, and when the ball does come down, can we play a pass? Can we slow the game down? Can we get into good areas? And I think that's maybe something we can improve on a little bit more. But the main thing on Saturday was to get the 3 points, and we did it.
You started the last 8 or 9 games playing majority of 90 minutes. How are you finding that?
I feel good, actually. I feel good. Yeah, it's good to get into a rhythm. I feel fit. I probably feel in the best shape that I've been in my career, to be honest. It's just about capitalising on that and trying to do my best to bring as much to the team when we have games as possible.
Playing in a variety of positions. Obviously, you played a few games at right back. You were back in midfield against Northampton. How do you find that? Do you find that a challenge?
No, I think you've seen when I've been here, I'm quite versatile. I've been like that all my career. I do prefer it in midfield. I think I can control the game a bit more and organise things, and also get it forward and also get back. But yeah, I think I can play a range of positions, and so it's quite seamless to transition.
Top stuff there from Sean. Let's talk about the defence on the whole, because I mean a lot was made of that defensive performance against Northampton. I think the stat is we made more clearances in that game than we did in the previous 4 games put together. It
was also an EFL record.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Since they've started recording clearances, which I think was about 10 years ago. There's the most clearances in an EFL game.
And is a clearances only in the box, or can it be anywhere on the pitch?
Just hooking it.
Can you make a clearance after a duel?
I think you can, yeah.
But I mean, you've seen that come into the side in recent games. You saw it at Stockport, you saw it last Saturday, and it's good to see.
It's very good to see. I thought their back three were very good last week. Obviously Simpson went off. Did he get a kick or something in the ribs? Whatever. Dan Appy came in. He was superb when he came in. Feel a bit sorry for him not getting a start today, but obviously Simpson done well when he played. I thought they were really good, but as a defender, and you're 6'4+, right? the easiest thing as a defender to do is clear the ball and head the ball, right? Getting it down and playing is more difficult for a defender. These guys are growing up, ball's getting thrown in the box, all right, you're getting muscled off the ball, or there's players there you're going up against. That's where the dangerous bit comes into it, but you've got to clear the ball. And to have, what was it, 96 balls come at us, and we've cleared them. I'm not saying the defenders have cleared every single one, it might be the midfield, but they've done really, really well. Today's going to be slightly different. They need to play. There's going to be times where they've got the ball at their feet and they need to play. We know Casey's good on the ball, setting up the sort of the long ball for the second goal last week. I like them. I think if they're solid today, and going into the game, you are called a defender. Do exactly that. Defend our goal. Do not give them chances. Do not give them shots on goal. Do not concede. Go and do that first, especially where we are in the league, and give our midfield and our forwards every opportunity to go and win us a game.
And when you are a defender and you've put in a performance like that on the road in Northampton, you're back home and sucking into your Chinese and your spring rolls. That's what you're smiling about. That's what you take confidence from.
I was smiling at the thought of spring rolls, actually. Don't
know where that came from.
Coming back, it's home ground. It's comfortable. It's your surroundings. You play there a lot of times in the year, and you've got your supporters there. You know, so that should help. But they can't go into it with a different mentality to last week. They have to go in with the same thought process, same mentality about not giving up chances and defending our goal. And if we do that today, we've got every single opportunity to go and win this game.
Absolutely. A clean sheet would be nice as well, wouldn't it? I know we had one at Stockport, but we've said about our defensive record a lot this season. A clean sheet to back up that defensive performance last week would be lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're all focusing. It was a shame we didn't quite manage it last weekend, but I'm sure Forrester in there now as the captain, as the leader, will be saying to him around the dressing room, look, clean sheet today, lads, and we at least get something out of this. I think today, in terms of the defence, I think it's a massive game for Casey and Craig today. I think when you look at Barnsley's strengths, you look at Reyes Cleary, who we expect to line up on the left wing for Barnsley, and we saw what he did to us in the reverse fixture. We've seen what he's been doing all season for Barnsley. He's a rapid player down that wing. He can get crosses in, he can get goals. He's their biggest threat for me. And so if I'm Richie today, I'm saying to Craig and Casey on that right hand side of the defence, you've got a big role today to play today. You've got to shut him out, because that could be the difference today.
Right, we're going to take a look at the visiting side shortly, but let's first jump to a quick ad break.
Is lunch at work awesome? If so, tune out now. If not, keep listening. Picture this: chef-made meals from local restaurants brought right into your workplace. No sad sandwiches, no tired menus. By tapping into the local restaurant scene, Fuda powers workplace dining for companies across the U.S., giving teams flavor, convenience, and authenticity. Half of Glassdoor's best places to work have partnered with Fuda. Is your team ready to upgrade its workplace food scene? Find out how at Fuda.com. That's FOODA.com.
Welcome back. Just over 10 minutes to go until kick-off, and so just a quick reminder of a matchday deal we've got on for you now. If you buy one Puma product, you get the second one at 30% off. You can get that on all Puma lines in the club shop and online. So if you head over to shop.leytonorient.com, you can take advantage of this offer. Right then, just a quick word on Barnsley today then. What are we expecting from them, Brendan?
Goals at both ends. I think they're one of the league's highest scorers, like Glenn's already mentioned. They're the worst defence on a goals per game basis, so they're very open. They've got a manager in Conor Hurahan who's inexperienced. I mean, we saw this fixture last season ended 4-3, and that kind of sums them up a little bit. They're a side that can go 3-0 up and look like world beaters, but then they can let equally the other amount in at the end. I think they're a side low on confidence at the minute. I think they've lost a number of games, especially away from home, where they've been very, very poor. And I think they're there to be got at today. I think it is all about us. I think if we play our game, show a bit of control, and like I've said, keep that clean sheet, keep Reyes Cleary at bay, I think it's there for us today.
Going on what you've said, in their last 3 away games, they've conceded 9 goals. They're very open, like Brendan says, both ends. So today will probably be 0-0, right? Kiss of death. No, I think there's goals to be had here today. They're not full of confidence. They've won 1 in 5, is it? 1 in 6. Not very good away from home. The game is right there, and like Brendan alluded to earlier, it's really important today we get 3 points going into these next 2 tricky away games.
Absolutely. Right then, let's take a look and see how Barnsley shape up for this afternoon's fixture. Starting in goal is number 1, Owen Goodman. Across the back line we have Corey O'Keefe and Tanai Watson in the fullback positions, with Mael Di Gavigny and Eoin Connell at the back. Luca Connell wears the armband and he's alongside Adam Phillips in midfield. Reyes Cleary and Jonathan Bland are in the wide positions, with Patrick Kelly playing just behind David McGoldrick. And on the bench is Kieran Flavel, Jack Shepherd, Vimal Yonganathan, Georgie Gent, Scott Banks, Tom Bradshaw and Charlie Lennon. So some recognisable names in there for this level and for levels above as well. They've got quality, and they'll probably be looking at today and looking at our form and going, this is one we want to be winning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've mentioned Cleary already, but then you look at Luca Connell as a player in central midfield who I think every time I watch him, I think, what's he doing? He's still playing in League One. And then David McGoldrick he's getting on a bit now, but he's still a fantastic footballer. He scored a wonderful goal against Huddersfield last weekend. He's kind of had to shoulder a bit more game time and responsibility because they've lost Keylor Dunn. I think they sold him on deadline day to Wrexham, so that was a big blow, and that's hampered their goal output. And it means that McGoldrick, I think he's 38 now, been playing most of the minutes, leading the line. So hopefully he might not be able to last the full 90 today, and that will weaken them as well.
And what are you expecting them to ask of us as a defensive unit?
Well, they'll look at where we concede goals and how we've conceded goals. So normally set pieces, balls in the box, where we've been a bit weaker in previous games, apart from last week. We conceded across last week. But they'll look at that and say, right, this is where we expose Leyton Orient. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start putting balls into the box, I don't know if they've got a long throw specialist and launching one in the box, corners, wide set pieces. They'll just try and load the box up and go and get a goal that way. If they don't do that, I'll be really, really shocked, because that's clearly been our Achilles heel over previous games. What I want to see our defence doing, and I touched on it last week, was when the ball gets set back, when the winger has got the ball, when he sets the ball back to the fullback or a midfielder and it gets whipped in, we were too pedestrian last week. We wasn't clearing a space enough for our goalkeeper, right? So get out the box or get up to the edge of the box and create that bit of space there for our goalkeepers to come and punch, catch, whatever. Hopefully they've done some work on that this week, because if you don't do that, you cause yourself problems. And I think with the defence in there, we've got 3 big lads at the back, it will just help them. But I fully expect us to be really good again in defence, with a sprinkle of sort of magic quality going forward, and I think we will get plenty of goals. Can I ask you one question before we go? What's our stats on 12:30 kickoffs? Do you know?
No.
You're meant to be called the knowledge. Come on.
I'm not sure.
How many?
We've won one.
Yeah.
Well,
Have we had a home one yet this season?
early doors. We're guessing now. We'll check that in the next break. Okay. Let's take a look at some of Barnsley's goals then, because that's where we think all the action will be happening today. Is a battle of 2 attacks.
Yeah, I think they're very good going forward. This is what Glenn was talking about in terms of a set piece where they've scored from. Those two both are kind of McGoldrick getting involved, getting goals and assists, but they're a team that are, like we said, more than capable of scoring goals. I think it's just about us shutting that down, playing our football and showing that element of control. I don't think you want this to become a basketball game today, because if it does, then that favours Barnsley. I think it's about control today. It's about when we get the ball, we don't need to go at 100 miles per hour. We just need to settle the tempo down and like I said, not turn it into a 4-3 type of game, because I think that's what Barnsley always want to make it into. And if we can just show that element of control and defend well today, like I've said, I think we've got the tools in attack to hurt what is a really leaky defence.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn, does any of this concern you?
Every goal. concerns me when they've got some very good goals in there, and then they've got some fluky ones as well. But they're obviously getting in good positions. They've got, is it the fourth highest sort of goals for in the league? So they clearly score a lot of goals. We've just got to stop that supply getting to them into that position. So midfield is really key. Obviously the front three sort of pressing from the front, trying to win the ball high up the pitch. Just try to stop that. And like Brendan says, if we do get our noses in front, it's managing the game. You don't want to be reckless. A bit of game management in there, when to slow it down. That's where the experience comes in. When to slow it down, when to speed it up, when to sort of put your foot on their throat and go and win the game really. But yeah, they are very, they look good going forward.
Kick-off just under 5 minutes away here in E10, and of course if you're watching along from at home on our YouTube stream, then you can pick up an audio pass. If you're a UK fan, and international fans can pick up a streaming pass to watch along with all the action here on Orient Live. But back to the ground now, Brendan, and the home fixture can't be underestimated. We've been very good at home this season. Maybe not in the recent games, but if we can refine that, that's going to be so important for these kind of final 15, 14 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were speaking off air beforehand about the fact that if we just get enough results in our home games, that can almost be enough. And look, we've beaten, like you said, we've beaten better teams than Barnsley at home this season. So it is one of those where we shouldn't show any fear. We put in a good performance and got the result that we needed last weekend. Hopefully that's boosted the confidence a little bit, because I think that was the main thing that was perhaps lacking in recent performances. So if we can be confident and put in a strong performance, then I see no reason why we can't get a result today.
How confident are you, Glenn?
Very, very, very confident. I think we will, like you said earlier, we've not had back-to-back wins. I think today we put that right. I think we go out and win this game, get a bit further up the table, and I think it's the confidence from last week's result I'm really hoping it's going to be evident today, and we go on and put in a really good performance.
It's quite important that we do as well, isn't it, Brendan? At this stage, it feels like it's pretty big.
Yeah, you need to start creating that buffer quickly. There's a lot of teams down there, but there's a lot of teams that are picking up results. We saw that in midweek, so it's about getting as far away from that relegation zone as possible, and hopefully that starts with 3 points today.
Absolutely. Well then, kick-off is very nearly upon us. So let's hand over to Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock to take us through the action.
Good afternoon and welcome to E10, where the sun is shining. The O's are looking for back-to-back league wins for the first time this season, and Barnsley looking for a first away day win in 9. There is one change for the O's, and that's because Jack Simpson isn't well. Dan Happy comes in, and 3 changes for Barnsley, Matt, and all of those are preferences from their manager Conor Houlihan.
Yeah, they've had a lot of games, Barnsley, haven't they? Their cup run has also meant that they've had to really utilise the squad as much as possible. The big loss for them, of course, was losing Keeler Dunn in the transfer window. But they've got quality, there's no doubt about it. I think my sense with Barnsley, having seen them a couple of times this season, is that they are a real threat going forward, particularly through the likes of Reyes, Cleary, and the quality of David McGoldrick, the experience at the top end of the pitch. However, defensively, there is a weakness there.
That would be apparent. We had goals in the corresponding fixture last season and a victory for Leo's.
Yeah, we did, and this season Barnsley left it late and they came out on top, which really, again, like many we've said this season, Orient really should have come away with at least a point in the game. But this, make no mistake, is a huge game. The O's position still tentatively above that bottom 4. And a lot of people will be a lot happier come full time if the O's have pushed on up the table.
5 points, 5 places separate the two sides ahead of the start of the afternoon. One of 2 early kickoffs in League One. Northampton